Fujitsu is looking to sell their entire $1 billion stake in the air conditioning manufacturing business. In this video, we're going to talk about an article that just recently came out where Fujitsu is looking to get out of the game and sell off a large stake in the Fujitsu general business line. And so if you're not familiar with Fujitsu, we've done other videos on heating and air products, especially mini splits, and talked about here in America, the top brands. And Fujitsu was a lot of times a part of that conversation. What's interesting though, if you stick around to the end, is the reason looks like they are trying to get out of this game. But this could shake up our industry a lot, at least here in the US and Canada, because for the longest time, the big three have always been Mitsubishi, Daikin, and Fujitsu. And now this is kind of, in my opinion, maybe opening the door, considering especially the rise in Gree being a brand that is becoming more name brand, becoming more available. And we've kind of seen them do it in a less traditional way by offering their products more to, homeowners directly. And then now with some of these newer products they've come out, especially with the Gree Flex, they have a lot of contractors that are now starting to kind of sign on with them and installing more of their stuff. So this is very early on. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's going to actually be the one to buy this. This article that I'm reading was just written yesterday, but it looks like the CEO, I'm not going to try to say his or her name because I'm sure I won't say it correctly, but the CEO of Fujitsu came out and said, we have set certain criteria for the sale and are aiming to sell 100% of the 42% stake in Fujitsu General. Now, Fujitsu themselves have not publicly commented on the negotiations, but the CEO did say that he was happy to have interested parties. So that tells you that there are probably multiple companies that they're talking to, and it's just crazy. They're going to get out of this game when they are one of the big three when it comes to mini splits here in the US. This article goes on to talk about some of the other interests, some of the other companies that they have investments in and how they've sold some of those. But I think whoever buys this, whoever ends up being the buyer of their product line, could either move into that spot of being a part of the big three, or they could set themselves apart drastically when you're considering Mitsubishi, Daikin, and Gree now maybe being part of that big three. If one of them end up buying this, there's probably a good chance that that's, at least some of the companies that Fujitsu is talking to, we could see a big shift in that, somebody really set themselves apart. But the craziest thing out of all this is this article says when asked about the biggest risk for Fujitsu, the CEO cited geopolitical tensions in Taiwan and rising COVID-19 infections amid rising US-China tensions and Fujitsu's high reliance on Taiwan's components, including semiconductors. The CEO said the company has started scenario planning to keep supply chains and operations running. It's important to prepare for an emergency. So they obviously think something is about to happen, which, I'm not going to get into political stuff or any of that on the world stage. But when you see a company that, is a large company for starters, so they're probably privy to conversations that I am not. If they are now making big moves right now to prepare in case there is an issue with, between China, Taiwan, or the US, they want to be prepared for that financially. It's crazy that this came out. I'm surprised this isn't being covered more on national news media as, just being the fact that they're up for sale. But maybe once they do sell the company, it'll be more of a thing. This is a big deal. This is just like one of the big automakers came out and said, we're just going to get out of this. We're just going to sell this. It would probably have ramifications for the market, for the consumer, and for the entire industry when you consider that, at least here in the US, Fujitsu was one of the big players. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear them. Please comment down below. This is yet another wrinkle in this crazy journey of going over some of the things happening in the heating and air industry. It's just the newest one, right? But definitely comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.